Hi, 5th grade. This is Mrs. Gyoko with your flipped math lesson for today, 6-5. Today's objective is to use the standard algorithm when multiplying a whole number in a decimal. This is something that we've already been doing quite a bit, so today should be review. Here is our first problem. The price of admission to a baseball game increased by 0.17 times the price of last year's games. If tickets cost $26 last year, how much do they cost now? So first we need to figure out what the problem is asking us. We need to figure out how much the tickets cost now. The important information we have is that it was $26 last year, but the prices have increased by 0.17 times the price of last year's games. So we're also got to figure out what operation we're going to use, and our clue is right here in that word times. Times means multiplication, and you can hear it when you say 26 times 0.17 or $26 times 1700ths. So we're going to figure this out. So let's use the standard algorithm. $26, oops, I forgot that unit there. $26 times 1.7. So let's do our multiplication. 7 times 6 is 42. Put down the 2, carry the 4. Remember, only one digit in a place value at a time. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 4 is 18. I'll put a 0 down as I go to the 1 because it's in the next place value over, so we put a placeholder right there. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. Add up our partial products. We have 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry that 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, then we have a decimal, so we have to count how many digits are after the decimal. There's one digit after the decimal, so we're going to put the decimal over one digit. So we are using money, remember. So when we're using money, we've got $44.20. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 on there so it looks like money, because normally you would have a 0 to show it's 20 cents. Okay, so there we go. Not too shabby, not too hard. Let's try this problem. 9.8 times 2. We just go ahead and multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 more is 19. Count how many digits are after the decimal point. There's 1, so we put decimal point in there. We get 19.6. So this should feel pretty easy by now. 0.67 times 8. Let's multiply. 8 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5. 8 times 6 is 48. Plus 5 more is 53. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. And then there are 1, 2 digits after the decimal point, so we put that decimal point 2 places over, and our answer is 5.36. Alright, 45 times 0.0003. Let's start multiplying. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. And there's nothing to carry. There's no other digit there. It would be a 0. So go ahead and put the 1 down. Now, there are 3 zeros here, but I know every time I multiply 0 times a number, it ends up being 0. So my answer is still going to be 135 here. So I have to figure out what place I put my decimal point in. So let's count how many digits there are after the 0, or after the decimal point, I mean. So there's the decimal point there. There is no decimal point up in the top number. So I only count these digits down below. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits after the decimal point. So that means that my answer, I have to have 4 digits after a decimal point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Can put my decimal point, and you have to think about, well, what goes there? There's nothing there. The number that represents nothing is 0. So my answer is actually 0.0135. Your turn. So you're going to do a few and pause the video and then unpause it and we'll check it and see if you got it right. Number 1, 405 times 0.47. Give it a try. Okay, let's check. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 0 is 0. Plus 3 is 3. 7 times 4 is 28. Move on to the 4. So we're going to put a 0 in the placeholder. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry the 2. I like to cross off the ones I've already used so I don't get confused. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 8. Or I'm sorry, plus 2 is 2. Sorry, I was looking at the 8. And then 4 times 4 is 16. Our next digit to multiply is 0. Remember, anything times 0 is 0, so I don't need to do that one. But I do need to add up my partial products here. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 0 is 3. 8 plus 2 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 6 is 9. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. I count how many digits are behind a decimal point, and there are 2. So I count 1, 2 places over, and put my decimal point in my answer. 190.35. Number 2, 336 times 0.4. All right, let's check your answer and see how you did. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And then again we have a 0, so we don't need to multiply that. Count how many digits are after the decimal point. There's 1. So put 1 digit behind a decimal point in our answer. Our answer is 134.4. And let's try number 3. 105 times 0.04. Okay, so I've got 4 times 5 is 20. Put down the 0, I carry the 2. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. Then we have a 0 next. Remember, 0 times the number is 0, so we don't need to do that one. We still need to count how many digits are after a decimal point, and there's 1. So we're going to move that decimal point so that there's 1 digit after it. So our answer is 42.0, which you could also write as just 42. Okay guys, we are finished for today. Good job. Don't forget to get your homework signed by your parents so you can get credit for it tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.